With Clerks 3 finally being released, it is amazing to look back at the tiny black and white movie that started it all. Despite its minuscule budget, Clerks managed to find a small audience to keep it alive until others discovered the movie and helped it become well-known Hollywood property. There have been other movies that have started in obscurity with a small but passionate following, only to grow to be recognized by the mass public. Whether they were too small to be found or overlooked initially, these movies overcame their cult status to reach the mainstream. 10. The Big Lebowski, 1998. Though the Coen brothers found success with small movies like Blood Simple and Fargo, their noir comedy The Big Lebowski proved too strange for audiences when it was first released. Jeff Bridges stars as a middle-aged stoner roped into a missing person case. The movie flopped at the box office and was seen as a disappointment for many save for a small group who recognized the humor of play. Gradually, more people found it and helped it become recognized as one of the funniest movies of all time. The dude even appeared in a recent Super Bowl commercial, and it's hard to get more mainstream than that. 9. The Princess Bride, 1987. A big reason cult movies can suddenly become popular is that the movie tries something new and ahead of its time, which takes audiences a while to warm up to. Such was the case with The Princess Bride, which mixed comedy and fantasy in a unique way. The movie came and went without much attention, only for die-hard fans to keep its memory alive as an underrated gem most people forgot. In time, the feel-good vibes of the movie caught on with more people, as well as becoming one of the most quotable movies of all time. It even inspired a celebrity-filled home movie remake during the COVID-19 pandemic. 8. Donnie Darko, 2001. In some ways, it is not hard to see why Donnie Darko failed to reach a wide audience initially. The challenging and mind-bending sci-fi story was nearly released as a direct-to-video movie, only for it to be saved at the last moment, partially with Christopher Nolan's help. The movie appealed to the cult community who pored over the movie for hidden messages and theories. Perhaps thanks to star Jake Gyllenhaal's Hollywood success, the movie eventually caught on and even gained an ill-advised sequel. 7. Wet Hot American Summer, 2001. Sometimes a movie with a cast of unknown actors will suddenly find new interest when that cast finds fame. Wet Hot American Summer was a surreal comedy set in a dysfunctional summer camp that made no real impact upon release, aside from some who found it to be a hilarious parody. However, with a cast that includes Paul Rudd, Elizabeth Banks, and Bradley Cooper, the movie was eventually discovered when those actors became stars. It even led to a couple of Netflix sequels prequels with the star-studded cast returning along with stars like Jon Hamm and Chris Pine. 6. Blade Runner, 1982. Ridley Scott's sci-fi masterpiece Blade Runner has become the epitome of a movie that fails initially, only to be appreciated years later. With studio meddling and poor reviews, the movie was seen as a failure. But its few fans kept it alive enough for a director's cut to be released. As time went on and the true vision of the movie became clear, Blade Runner became recognized as one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time. It got a long-awaited sequel with Blade Runner 2049, and many fans think it deserves a trilogy. 5. El Mariachi, 1992. As the Hollywood legend tells it, Robert Rodriguez took a job testing experimental drugs in order to fund his first movie, El Mariachi. The movie follows a traveling mariachi who is hunted by a dangerous gang. The small movie was made for a few $1,000s and helped inspire many independent filmmakers of the era. As small as the movie was, it gained enough attention for Rodriguez to continue the story in a bigger-budget Hollywood version, Desperado. Rodriguez closed off the trilogy with the star-studded Once Upon a Time in Mexico. For Hairspray, 1988, indie filmmaker John Walters already experienced a cult hit with his wild comedy Pink Flamingos. He returned with the comedy Hairspray, which is set in 1962 and tells the story of a young teen who earns a spot on a television dance program and uses her fame to speak out on issues. The movie was a modest success given its small budget, but it managed to find new fame when it was turned into a Broadway musical, which was subsequently remade into a Hollywood movie starring the likes of John Travolta, Zac Efron, and Michelle Pfeiffer. 3 Clerks, 1994, Kevin Smith gathered some of his friends and shot his first movie in the convenience store he worked in after it was closed for the night. Though some saw Clerks as a plotless movie about people hanging out, it spoke to a group at the time with its raunchy humor and pop culture references. Not only did the movie become popular enough to spawn 2 sequels, but it also launched an entire cinematic universe. Smith's View-esque universe is filled with several movies all tied together. Jay and Silent Bob became the faces of this universe and, oddly enough, even appeared in Scream 3. To The Evil Dead, 1981, before Sam Raimi directed comic book movies, he established himself as a horror movie icon with The Evil Dead. The energetic and chilling movie was another hugely influential movie that inspired many independent filmmakers, even if it only reached horror fanatics. Raimi returned with Evil Dead 2, which was partially a remake of his low-budget first movie, but increased the movie's gore and zany sense of humor. The franchise continued in Army of Darkness before being remade in 2013 and getting a sequel series with Ash vs. The Evil Dead. 1 The Room, 2003, Tommy Wiseau wrote, directed, and starred in The Room, which he also self-financed. The movie was meant to be a searing relationship drama, but earned a reputation the filmmaker didn't anticipate. After its small release, the movie started getting passed around as a phenomenon referred to by some as the worst movie ever made. The secret soon got out, leading to massive midnight screening events that rivaled the likes of Rocky Horror Picture Show in terms of fan involvement. The movie even inspired a behind-the-scenes movie with The Disaster Artist.